Hey everyone, it's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adornments Decor, and I have a very special friend that I want to introduce you guys to. This is my friend, Coach Kiah. Hey Kiah.
Hello. So excited to be here. Hello, everyone.
Now, some of you guys already know Kiah. She is the MC for Southern Adornments Live. I feel like at this point, you're kind of the official MC for Southern Adornments Live. You've done 2 with us already, and you're coming back for a third, right?
That's correct. I'm trying to think. Is it two? Is it two or three? It is
Dallas
two.
and Destin.
Yes. And it is one of the highest honors. I have got to say, Tamara, it is one of the events I enjoy the absolute most throughout the year. I love this group of women. It is such a phenomenal event. And I feel like there are very few events like this that have the same type of energy. It's one of my favorites.
Mhm. Yeah, my husband likens it to like the camaraderie that you feel when you bring like his military brothers in arms together. He said there's just a camaraderie there. And he said, I've never felt that outside of the military. He said, but these women have that together, that camaraderie. They have like things in common and they love and support when he's such high energy, good vibes. And so, yeah, it's awesome.
I love that comparison because most people wouldn't look at like a military group and a women's painting conference and think they have a whole lot in common, but the energy is there.
Oh, I wonder if it has something to do with like, you know, how the military has similar values with each other, similar
Yeah.
beliefs, similar goals and missions. It's the same way with
Mhm.
us as creatives and artists. Like we all kind of have the same values and we have a lot more in common than not in common. And so when we bring us all together, it's instant like camaraderie. Like I feel like anybody you sit next to, you can make a new friend.
I think you're so right. And I think one of the things I love the most about it is that coming back every year, it feels so much like a family. Hi, Amy. For example, Amy, I met her at Southern Adornments and she came to one of my in-person events in Texas. And it just, I don't know. There's so many people that come and will come by themselves. And by the time you leave, I promise you, you will have more friends than you care to even add to your group of people because it's just such a beautiful space with so many beautiful souls.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to bring Kiah on today because so many of you guys hear me talk about her, and you just, unless you've been to the events, you don't know who Kiah is. And so I wanted to introduce her to you, but also remind you that our tickets are on sale right now. So there is still time to join us in the Smoky Mountains in November. The event's happening November 15th and 16th in the Great Smoky Mountains of Sevierville, Tennessee. Have you ever been to Sevierville, Kiah?
So I have been to Pigeon Forge. So I think it's
It's
close, but
right
not
next door.
exactly
Yeah.
Sevierville. But I've never been to Dollywood. And I just think the mountains are so beautiful. And that time of year is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it is because it's going to be like a Hallmark Christmas movie. I think
For
it's
sure.
the Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, that whole little area. It's like one giant town, all kind of just spread out. But there's going to be Christmas lights and Christmas decor everywhere you
Oh,
go.
I love it.
If you're interested, Dollywood's right in that little town. You can go check it out. There's a huge light display. They've got Christmas shows you can go to. I think they've even got like a drone show, like a drone light show. It's
Oh,
really cool.
fancy.
But we're going to be hanging out at the Wilderness at the Smokies, which has an indoor and an outdoor water park. Now, the outdoor water park, of course, is not going to be open in November for swimming, but it will be open for ice skating and like Christmas lights and all of that. So it's like a winter wonderland.
This sounds absolutely magical. And I'm glad you mentioned this because I went to an event last year not knowing that it was at a place with a water park. And normally I wouldn't pack my, swimsuit somewhere I was traveling to in November. So if y'all are coming, make sure to pack your swimsuits.
Yeah, let me show you a picture. They've got an indoor water park, Kaya, so you can pretend you're at
Oh
the
my
beach the whole
word.
time you're here.
That
Or
is
these people could bring
absolutely
their friends
amazing.
and their families, their grandkids. The kids could go play at the water park while you craft. It could be, kind of a win-win there for the whole
Yes.
family.
And that is something that I love so much about these events that you put together, Tamara, because it's an opportunity for women to invest in themselves, something for just them. We've had so many people also bring their daughters, their moms, their aunts, their friends. But what also is really cool is so many women use this trip as a way to do something really fun for them, but to bring their families along. So while we were painting in Destin, people's kids were out at the beach all day. And it just is such a cool kind of a win-win, a way to fill your cup and to also bring your family along with you. And also, if you're like, I don't want my family to come, that's okay. You deserve some alone time by yourself with your new gal pal.
If you're watching in the comments and you have your ticket already, let us know. Are you bringing the whole fam? Or are you like, nope, I'm sleeping in a bed
Great
alone. I
question.
cannot wait to have this time away. Wanda says this is her first live and she can't wait to meet you. So did Linda. I know we've got
So
several
excited.
first timers coming this year. It's going to be a blast.
Oh, we're gonna have so much fun, ladies. You just wait.
What
Now,
would
what
you
I'm
say to
curious to
that
know.
first?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead, Cameron. I was just gonna say, anybody that's coming for the first time, how do you feel about karaoke? And Tamara, have we found out if there's a karaoke area in this spot? Because I need to know this information.
I'm still researching that. I don't think the resort has karaoke set up, but I'm like, surely we can arrange something. Because if you guys
Surely,
weren't there in
surely.
Destin, you might not know. Kiah found out that the resort we were staying at had karaoke by the pool the last night we were there. And she's like,
Mhm.
she pretty much was like, this is my karaoke event. Everybody just come join me. And I mean, I feel like they should just hire you to host the event because you brought the
I
party.
mean, Limerence Live ladies really showed up strong for that karaoke party. I think that they thought that we were in charge of it. Yes, Amy was there. She remembers. It was so much fun. I loved every moment of it.
Michelle is voting for a PJ karaoke party at the
Say
Southern
less.
Endurance Club.
Anywhere that I can show up in my pajamas, sign me up. Yes, love that.
Margarita said, this is my first time coming. Can't wait. My husband's coming with me. Jane is
Oh, so
volunteering to
fun.
bring her karaoke machine.
I mean, hey, listen, if they don't have one, you got to be resourceful. Bring your own. We might have to have you do that, Jane. I love that.
Well, what would you say to somebody who's traveling there for the first time that might feel a little bit apprehensive, a little, maybe they're not as extroverted as you and I. Maybe they're a little
Yeah.
introverted, a little nervous.
Yeah.
Because you are the best at like encouraging and like
Thank you.
empowering women to really feel confident in themselves. So I want to dive
Mhm.
into that a little bit. How would you advise them?
This is a beautiful question. And what I would say to someone who is thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds so like so much fun. You know, maybe you've been hanging out with Tamara inside of our community, learning to paint, meeting other ladies virtually, and you're like, oh, it'd be so fun to be in the same room to get to know them, but you're feeling a little nervous. It is okay to feel nervous if this is something that's outside of your comfort zone. I understand, like Tamara said, that not everyone is as extroverted as her and I. And what I would tell you is just this little nudge and reminder. And I think y'all know this, but never, ever, ever does growth happen outside of our comfort zones. So if you're feeling like a little bit nervous, I want you to consider that maybe doing something a little bit different is actually a beautiful opportunity for you to build confidence in yourself and saying, like, actually, I can show up. I can go and do this. And the other thing that I would say too is that feeling nervous and feeling excited actually feel very similar energetically in our bodies. It just depends on what the story is that we're telling ourselves. So if you're like, oh, I'm really nervous about going and doing that, how can you think, oh, I'm nervous, but I think part of this is also a little bit of excitement, right? I'm doing something new. I'm going to meet new people. And if you're someone who is nervous about, like, maybe you don't know anybody that's going to be there, or maybe you're just nervous being around other women, or maybe you're like, oh my gosh, there's a water park. I have not been seen in a swimsuit in years. I want to encourage you that this space that Tamara creates and that her community has created is such a beautiful, accepting, and loving space for you to show up exactly as you are, for you to show up and just give yourself permission to pour into you. And I say that knowing that for some of us, we maybe have not been the greatest at putting ourselves first or even putting ourselves on the list at all. Maybe we are apprehensive about investing in ourselves instead of, our kids or our husband or our families. But what I want to say to you is that by investing in yourself, maybe in this way, like coming to this retreat, it is going to fill your cup in ways that are going to overflow in more ways than one when you get home. And so I would say, feel a little nervous and show up anyways, because I promise you, you will not regret it.
Yeah, that's great advice. I have a funny picture to share. And before I put the picture up, let me just say that a couple of these ladies are very like wallflower type, introverted, normally would not put themselves out there. But they have been to multiple ones of my events and they have found their people. And when you find your people, like you are more yourself than you are
Mhm.
around other people. You're more confident. And look how these ladies showed up to our last event.
Yeah,
They came
I
and
love
surprised
this.
me with inflatable costumes on, and they were just the life of the party instantly. And it's just hilarious because Erica right there in front with the big pink hat, she is a self-proclaimed introvert. Marie back there in the back. Oh wait, no, that's not Marie with the Grinch costume. Marie isn't in this picture, but Marie Mosley is another one that is very introverted. And when they come to these events, they're the life of the party. And I think it's because they
For
feel
sure.
safe in the space that they're in, that they can completely be themselves.
I totally agree, Tamara. And what I think is actually really, really cool about events like this, I just got back from Ireland. I hosted my first international women's retreat. And what I've come to realize about things like this is that there is magic that happens when you take yourself out of your everyday environment, immerse yourself in a room full of strangers, where you suddenly have permission to not have to fulfill any roles. And what I mean by that is you're not the mom in that room. You're not the grandma. You're not the employee. You're not the boss. You're not somebody's neighbor. You are just you, and you get to show up exactly as you are, as your most authentic self. And I think it is one of the most beautiful and freeing things. And I think that's one of the reasons why people kind of come out of their shell, is because, oh, I don't have to pretend or act a certain way here. I get to just be present and enjoy myself and connect with other people. And it's really, really magical to see happen.
I've never thought about it that way, but you're absolutely right. When you get together with strangers, there's no expectations of, well, I've always been the shy girl in the back, so that's what they're going to
Exactly.
expect me to be. Or I've always been the funny one, that's what they're going to expect me to be. No, if
Mhm.
these people don't know you, they don't have any expectations. So you really can be
Exactly.
yourself and just start fresh.
Yep.
What if somebody is struggling with their confidence? I know you have a
Mm.
program going on right now, and I want to give you a chance to like tell us about that, because I've been seeing your reels and your posts, and oh my goodness, they're drawing me in, because I was one of those people who, and I
Mm.
still am to a small amount, very self
Mhm.
conscious about my body image. And it's funny because I told somebody this once, and they were like, no way, like you seem so confident. And I'm like, it's a
Mm.
false front. Like we all have insecurities, but watching your stuff and learning through you, and like just listening to your podcast, even like all of that has really helped me like realize that my body is here to serve me, and I
Mm.
just need to show up, and I need to be myself, and I just need to be really forgiving to myself, because
Mm.
I think sometimes we sit and we beat ourselves up about what we ate this weekend or how much we didn't work out or any of that
Mm.
kind of stuff. So tell us about this program you've got.
Mm. Yes. Well, first of all, thank you, Tamara. And I am just celebrating you. Thank you for your honesty and your vulnerability. I know that you're very open with the ladies in your community, which I think is really special. And I want to echo that. I think that when people see Tamara, for those of you that have ever had the pleasure of meeting her in person, or maybe are excited to meet her for the first time this year at the conference, when you see Tamara, you will see a vibrant, radiant, bubbly, just ray of sunshine, right? Like I'm saying this like you don't know it. I know you guys know this already. And what I love that Tamara is sharing is that maybe wasn't always the version of her that she was able to show up as. And the same thing
Mhm,
is true for me. I would say that a lot of people would describe me as very bubbly, bright,
mhm.
vibrant, totally confident version of myself. When I just went to Europe, I was wearing neon colors every single day, and they do not wear neon colors in the UK. I stood out like a sore thumb. But what I think is so cool is understanding what it takes to develop this confidence. Because just like you, Tamara, that was not always me. I spent most of my life feeling very, very insecure in myself, especially in my body, probably starting around the age of 5 when I went to elementary school. And if any of you ladies that are listening to this are like, oh my gosh, yes, that's me. I have a lot of my own body insecurity issues. I want you to know, number one, that it's unfortunately very normal for a lot of
Mhm.
us, for a lot of women. In fact, research shows that 70% of adult women report holding themselves back from things they want to do because of their relationship with their body. And while that statistic doesn't shock me based on my own personal experiences and the work I've done with other women, it does break my heart, because what that means is that the majority of women in the world are not allowing themselves to show up authentically as they are, to live their lives fully, because of the stories that have been ingrained into us to believe about our bodies and our worthiness associated with our bodies. I struggled with my body image for years and years and years. I should say decades, actually, decades. And I had to go through this really deep journey of, number one, pursuing a lot of fad diets over and over again, because that's what we were taught was the solution to our problems. Once your body looks a certain way, then everything you want is on the other side of that. Spoiler alert, not true.
And I
And
will
I
say,
also
I
had
have not gone on a single diet since I met you. You broke that for me. So thank you. I have
that
been
makes me
eating
so
healthier.
proud.
I've been working out more regularly and just loving myself. And I shed 30 pounds over the last year. And I feel more
Amazing.
but what's funny is I felt more confident in myself 30 pounds ago than I ever
Mhm,
had before. The 30 pounds
mhm,
came after the confidence came. It was
100%.
interesting.
And that's how it works, right? We're told that I'll finally love myself and be confident once I look a certain way, once I lose a certain amount of weight. And it's totally backwards. What I come to realize is that our relationship that we have with our bodies actually has nothing to do with our bodies. And it has everything to do with how we think. It is all
Mhm.
a mental and emotional and internal game. I think we can all think about women in our lives who maybe exist in what we have been taught to think are like traditionally beautiful, perfect bodies, who we know are miserable and
Mhm.
judgmental of themselves all the time. And I think we can also think about women in our lives and examples of women who maybe don't exist in what we are have deemed the traditional perfect body,
Mhm.
who are wholly and completely confident in themselves. I would say that I'm one of them. I exist in a larger body. I'm a plus size woman, and I am more confident in myself than ever, because confidence has nothing to do with the way you look and has everything to do with the way you think. So, all that being said, I am very, very passionate about helping women learn to love themselves deeper, care for themselves better from that place of self love, kind of like what you just shared, Tamara, right? You learned how to feel
Mhm.
confident in yourself and then
Mhm.
show up and take care of yourself from that
Yep.
loving place instead of this punishing place. And really, just to help women get off the sidelines of their lives, to stop being a part of that 70% of women that say no to themselves and opportunities they want to do. Like, I don't know, signing up for a women's conference to go meet a bunch of strangers and paint in the mountains. And I've developed different coaching programs. So, first things first, I am a motivational speaker and an MC, which is why I get to come and hang out with y'all in the Smoky Mountains. I cannot wait to meet you in live and to see some of y'all again. I just love that I have so many friends that I've met at Southern Adornments Live. But I've also launched a new coaching program that just opened up this week. It's called Spur Your Body Confidence. And it is a 12-week coaching program. It kicks off next week. So the doors close on May 13th. And this 12-week coaching program has a few different parts to it. So one of them is a digital course component. So what that is basically virtual video lessons that you can come back and look at and view at your own pace. But we also do live coaching calls every other week. We have a private community, and we're going to be doing some really fun activities and challenges throughout. So we'll be doing things like a vision boarding workshop for all my crafty gals. I know you're into crafts. We'll be doing a closet clean out, not just a mental closet clean out, but a physical closet clean out to kind of create more confidence in our environment and our space. And I intentionally created this program to go with you through summertime, because I know, speaking from my own experience and hearing from lots of other women, summertime is high time for body insecurities if you're someone who
Mhm.
struggles with your body, right? The idea of going to a water park to me years ago would have been mortifying, because I would not have wanted myself to be seen in a swimsuit. And I love water parks. I love the water. I love swimming. I love getting in the pool. And I held myself back from doing those things because I was so afraid of letting other people see myself. And I don't want women to feel that way anymore. I want women to feel good about themselves and their skin, whether they lose weight, whether they gain weight, no matter how their body changes, because Lord knows our bodies are going to continue to change as we age, as we go through, carrying babies and postpartum, and however our bodies continue to
Mhm.
fluctuate. I don't care how your body changes. What I care about is how you strengthen your relationship with your body, regardless of how it changes. So, if you're someone who's maybe looking for some of that support this year, if you want this to be the summer that insecurities no longer hold you back, we'd love to have you join us. I'm really, really excited about it. It's going to be so much fun.
Thank you for sharing all of that with us, Kiah. I couldn't help but notice over in the comments, Miss
Yeah.
Elizabeth Douglas. She came to PC Live that we had here in Murray just a couple of weeks ago, and I really got to know her. And she is a very vibrant personality. Matter of fact, she works for a fire department, and anytime I needed to get the room's attention, she'd go ah, and she'd holler out, and everybody would pay attention. But she says she is so nervous to like be caught on camera. She doesn't like having her picture
Mm.
made. And so I know that's a big insecurity for people too. And it makes me sad because I know
Mm.
Elizabeth and I know her vibrant personality, and to not put yourself out there and be in photos with people and whatnot, because the photos help us remember the times when we were
Yeah,
together, right? So if you don't get in any of the
absolutely.
pictures, then you're not going to be able to like look back at that and really feel like you were present in that moment.
Yeah. And I think another reason that I'm really passionate about helping women heal their relationship with themselves is because I think a lot of us didn't just start learning how to judge our bodies or view our bodies as problems to be solved because of the things that we saw in the media. But I think a lot of us learn to feel self shame and judgment from the women who raised us, and not to any fault of their own. I think that the women, speaking for myself and my own family, the women generations before me were also victims of this diet culture mentality where we were taught to feel shame about our bodies and become so obsessed with wanting to change them, or we shouldn't eat that, or we should go on another diet, or whatever that story sounds like. And something that I'm so passionate about is breaking the cycle. And I believe that the way that we break the cycle for little girls like your little daughter, Charlie, it breaks
Mhm.
my heart to think that there will ever become a day when Charlie does not see how absolutely radiant and beautiful and worthy she is. I hope she never has to experience that. And the truth is that I can't protect her from that. But what I can do, and what you can do, Tamara, is learn how to wholly and unconditionally love and accept themselves and let that be what they witness and see in the world, instead of continuing to see women struggle and perpetuate that struggle with body image. I think the way that we heal and change the world is by healing and changing ourselves and our own hearts. And circling back around to the pictures thing, first of all, I want you to know that you're not the only one. There are a lot of women who take the photos of their family because they don't want to be in them. Or if they do take family photos, they hide themselves in the back. That's okay. You're not alone in it. But the thing I want you to remember is like what Tamara said, photos are about capturing the memory. The memory is the most important piece. What your body looks like in the photo is the least interesting thing about it. But photos are not just for you. Earlier
Mhm.
this year, I lost one of my grandmothers, and she passed away just like a month and a half ago. And she's someone who struggled with her body image her entire life as well.
Mhm.
And at the end of her life, none of us thought, oh, I'm so proud of Nanny. She lost 10 pounds in her last year on this
Right.
earth, right? None of us would look back at the pictures and think, wow, she looked a little heavier there than she used to. No, all of us treasure every single memory that was ever captured her because that is all that we have left. And when we get to the end of our lives, when we're on our last day of our life, and none of us know when that's going to come, we're not going to think, man, I really wish I wouldn't have eaten those delicious cookies or gone on those trips or um, gotten in the pool with my kids, even though I have cellulite like 90% of the other women. Those things will not matter. And it breaks
Mhm.
my heart that we allow them, because society has done this to us. We allow so much of that to absorb our mental capacity when at the
Mhm.
end of our lives, it is the thing that matters the least.
You're so right. And going back to what you were saying about Charlie, I think, and I didn't realize it till you said it out loud, that like that was around the pivotal time when I started trying to love myself more, is right
Mm,
after I had her. Because I'm looking at this little girl that I think, and I look at my flabby belly and I'm like, I don't want her to feel insecurity when she looks at herself. And
yeah.
sometimes we would be getting dressed together in a dressing room and she would poke my belly and like I
Yeah.
would, the old version of myself would have been like, stop, don't
Yep.
do that, don't touch my belly, I'm
Yeah.
insecure about that. But I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I was kind of embracing her curiosity
Mm,
and letting her poke
yes.
my belly. Yeah, that's mama's tummy. And I tried to
So
encourage
good.
that in her, and just tried to really never talk bad about my own body or
Mhm,
really like shame myself for eating certain things. I try to lean into
mhm,
talking about why I'm eating healthier and why I'm
mhm.
working out, because I want to be strong. I want to live longer. I want to be around for a long time to spend
Yeah,
time with her. And so it's been a long time. I mean, she's just
yeah,
turned 9. So I've been working on this for 9 years now.
yeah.
And I think it doesn't happen overnight. No, the confidence doesn't
No,
just
it does not. It is something that we have to commit to constantly, and it's hard work, which is why I've created a whole coaching community around it, is because it is hard. I think a lot of us think, oh, the hardest journey we're going to be on is having to like eat better and exercise, and it's not. That's not the hardest part, at least in my opinion. But
no.
Tamara, I just want to celebrate you. I think that is the greatest gift you could ever give your little girl. And she is so dang lucky to have a mom like you to be raising her and teaching her to love yourself. And I love the way that you have embraced her curiosity. My nieces, they're around the same age as Charlie.
Mhm.
And when I pick them up and like hold them on my hip, I have a lot of like loose, flabby arm
Yeah.
skin. Okay. Here. I'm learning to love these. What does my grandma call them? The hanging gardens. It's just a garden. That's all it is.
I've heard them bat wings. I've never heard of
Bat
hanging
wings, hanging
gardens.
gardens. Yeah. And when I hold my nieces on my hip, they love to like squeeze and squish and feel because it's squishy and the skin is really soft. And I used to hate it because I was so insecure about my arms.
Mhm.
And then it dawned on me, kind of like you talking about your belly. It's like, oh my gosh, I do not need to teach them that they ever need to be concerned
Mhm.
about their arms, regardless of how they look. And so now I'm like, it is fun to play with them, right? Because they're soft and they're squishy, and it's not a problem if we don't make it a problem. There
Right.
is this nursery rhyme that was going around on social media. My very best friend Jessica has a little girl, and she wants to expose her to nursery rhymes that are all about self-love. And it's called the Good Belly Song. Have you heard it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna try to remember it. How does it go? She says, big belly, little belly, round belly, flat. Some have a lot of muscle, some have a lot of fat. Some wiggle and they jiggle, and some do not. And I like whatever kind of belly that you got.
That's so catchy.
Isn't
I
that
love it.
so cute?
Yeah,
I
that's
love it. I love
adorable.
it so much. So there's the start to our karaoke. You're welcome, ladies.
Yeah, you're gonna have to just teach that to all of us at Southern Ornaments Live. Oh my goodness. Well, Charlie looks up to you too. I think she kind of lovingly thinks of you as like this distant aunt that she has. Because
I love that. I
anytime
am
she
totally
hears
her
your
aunt.
voice coming out of my phone, if I'm watching your story, she's like, "Is that
Yeah.
Kiah? Can I see Kiah? Can I talk to
I
Kiah?"
love her so much.
She
I
adores
love it.
you. I'm catching up on the comments here. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. And then Jane says, I'm so self conscious about my chicken wings. It
Mm.
takes away my joy wearing sleeveless summer clothes. Jane, there was a dress on Sunday that I wanted to wear to church, and it had like the little, like almost like roughly capped sleeve, but you could
Mhm.
see everything from here down on my arm. And I'm like, ugh, I need to tone my arms. And like, I almost didn't wear the dress because of the arms. And then I'm like, nope. Kiah would say, wear it. You look fabulous. And so
Yes,
I walked
girl.
out the door anyway. And I got so
Yes,
many compliments
girl.
on that dress that day. And so,
I love it. I love it so much. And I think that that's the work right there. It's not about erasing the thoughts that come up. It's about recognizing them, saying, okay, that thought sounds familiar, but I'm going to choose to live my life anyways. And that is where the power is. And I think that that's where our self confidence is built to, is learning how to quiet the voices of those insecurities and continue to love ourselves unconditionally and show up for our lives, regardless of those old stories that maybe still make voices in the back of our head.
yeah. Well, the kids got out of school early today because there's tornado warnings coming our way, and they've all started
Oh.
coming in here needing mom's attention. So we probably better wrap it up. And Michael's calling me. So see here, take the phone, see what your dad needs. I'm going to wrap this up. All right. Well, if you're interested in Coach Kiah's Spur Your Body Confident, or it's not a workshop, it's a course. 12-week course. I
Yep.
did put the link in the video description for you guys to go check out more about it. I think it could be really beneficial to a lot of us who really beat up on ourselves on a day-to-day basis, and we need to be a little more kind to ourselves and work on that confidence. So,
Yeah.
and then if
We'd
you
love
would
to have
like
you
to
join
join
us.
us in this,
If you have any questions too, just feel free to message me and we'll chat about it. And then you can have all of the confidence in the world to show up at the live event happening this fall too.
absolutely. Go follow Kiah on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you hang out. She has some really great content. And even if you can't do the 12-week course right now, if you're following her content, you're going to like that. The confidence is going to eventually, Kiah will eventually get in your head. I've learned this. I start hearing her voice in my head. And I even start spilling out the things you say to my husband. I think I've told you this
I love
before.
it.
He bought a cowboy hat or 10 and thought that he was going to be a guy who wore hats. And then they end up stacked up in his closet. And I said, well, you know what Coach Kiah would say, don't you? And he's like, what? I said, that if you want to be the kind of person who wears a hat, you just got to wear the hat.
Yes, girl.
And
I
he's
love
like
that.
laughing at me because he's like, you know all Kiah's things, don't you? You know all of her little sayings.
We've worn off on each other over the years, Tamara.
Yep. All right, y'all. If you want to come join us in the Smoky Mountains November 15th and 16th, go to southernadornmentslive.com. Tickets are marked down $50 off until Monday or Sunday, Mother's Day. So it's a perfect Mother's Day present. There's also a payment plan available. Now, after Sunday, the payment plan goes away. But I hope to see all of you guys at Southern Adornments Live. It's going to be a blast.
So
Brenda,
excited.
go follow Coach Kiah. She was wondering where to find you. Coach Kiah. See her name right
Yep,
there?
Coach
Just search
Kiah.
that on Facebook. You'll find her. She's the only one. I'm pretty sure. You're the only Coach Kiah I
The
know.
only one that I'm aware of, at least.
All right. Thanks, Kiah. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, y'all.
Thanks. Bye, ladies. Thanks for joining us.